Bruchim Habayim, welcome those who come in the name of the Lord this Friday afternoon leading into Shabbat. We're happy to have you here with us, the Chazan and myself. We are here, even though we are not in the building, we are building a community together. The Mincha service, the afternoon service in Judaism, you have, of course, the Shacharit, the Mincha, and the Ma'ariv, one for Abraham, one for Isaac, one for Jacob, it is believed. It begins with the Ashrei prayer. In the Tractate Brachot to the Babylonian Talmud, it says, he or she who recites the Ashrei 3 times a day, twice in Shacharit, once in Mincha, is assured a healthy day. And it begins saying, blessed are thee who dwell in your house, that being the house of God. Thee shall praise you forever. Bless the people who are so favored. Bless the people whose God is Adonai. God's house is not necessarily a building, but God's house is a temple, an individual temple within ourselves. For those of you who have downloaded the Siddur Sim Shalom from our website or have a Siddur Sim Shalom, we begin on page 1. Asher Yishvetecha od yalu chasel Asher Yishvetecha. Tilat Adonai leber pi brako b'sosheng b'shalom v'ed v'nachnu v'rechya me'ata v'yad olam. Hallelujah. So that we can say the mourner's Kaddish for those yortzites ending this afternoon, we do an El Malei Rachamim, and we remember all those who have yortzites for today. Although they may no longer walk this earth, they always remain alive in our hearts and our minds. Morris Tchaikovsky, Jetty Schweiger, Charles Klimas, Sylvia Wydra, and Emma Rosenberg. May their memories be for a blessing now and forevermore. El Malei Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hamseh Menucha Nechona Tachal Kanfei Shechina B'malok Doshim Utorim Gezor Ki Masim Nishmot Kol Ele Shalchu L'Olamam B'Gan Eden Tiem Nuchatam Ana Bal Rachamim Asirim Tzedek V'Chel Olamim Utzor B'Tzorchem Et Nishmotehem Adonai Hu Nachlatam V'yanuchu b'shalom amishkavotehem v'nomar. Amen. Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam olam me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitneseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran b'alma v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Before we begin the evening service, the Kabbalat Shabbat and the Ma'ariv, I'd like to let you know that both the Torah readings for tomorrow and the sermon for tonight and tomorrow are on separate links. You don't need to watch the entire service to hear them. You can go one to the other. So please don't expect tomorrow's services, the Shabbat services, to hear the Torah readings during the Shabbat service. And don't expect either tonight or tomorrow to hear a sermon during the service. Once again, there are different links. What we will do is as we go through the service and certain prayers, I'll come to explain so you understand a little bit about the structure of our service. We begin with, the cantor will begin with Shalom Aleichem, which is on page 13, and it starts by wishing peace. And we know that shalom, the word shalom, is made up of 4 letters, shin, lamed, vav, mem, which means peace. And the root of that word is 3 letters within it, shin, lamed, mem, which come together equals shalem, which means united, complete. So only when we are a united people can we bring about shalom. We hope that this service and our community brings about peace physically, emotionally, spiritually, and without doubt, peace from the coronavirus that we are all suffering from right now. Shalom Aleichem, page 13.
Please join me. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We continue on page 15 with Lechu Neranana. Again, sing along. Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Al Adonai. Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Al Adonai. Naria, Naria, L'tzur Yishenu, Nikadma Panav B'toda. Naria, Naria, L'tzur Yishenu, Bizbirot Naria Lo. Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Al Adonai. Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Lechu Neranana, Al Adonai. Ki el Gadol lemelech olim Hashem. Three lines from the bottom of page 15. Arba'im shana hakut bedor ve'omar am to'el levavhem ve'hem lo yadu derachai asher nishbati ve'api im yevon el menuchati. And we continue on the top of page 16. Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Masru meyom leyom Yeshuato, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Yom leyom Yeshuato. Again. Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Masru meyom leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Masru meyom leyom Yeshuato. Two lines from the bottom. Lifnei Adonai ki hiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, gamim be'emunato. Page 17, Adonai malach tagel haaretz yimim rabim. Adonai is sovereign. Let the world rejoice. God's throne is founded on justice. Though God be clouded from view, divine justice reveals God's presence. God's lightning illumines the earth. Fire consumes God's foes. Mountains melt like wax before Adonai. The earth trembles. The heavens proclaim God's righteousness. All people behold God's majesty. Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images, which must themselves bow low before God. Hearing of your judgment, Adonai, Zion exults, and the cities of Judah rejoice. You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked. Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable. Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous, acclaim the holiness of God's name. Orzaru ala tzadik ul yishrei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim baronai v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Page 18. Please join me in the middle of the page. Zamru l'Adonai. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor, b'chinor b'kol zimra, b'chatzotzrot b'kol shofar. Ariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, yiram hayam ulo, nevel veyoshvei ba, neharot imcha uchav, yachad harim yiranenu, lifnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot bevel b'tzedek, v'hamim v'meisharim. Yiram hayam umlo, tevel v'yoshvei ba, neharot yimcha uchav, yachad harim yiranenu. And we continue on page 19. Please join me on the last three lines of page 19, Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'char kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'char kodsho. He kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'char kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'char kodsho. He kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'char kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu l'char kodsho.
Before we get to Mizmor LeDavid, I'd like to explain something. It's from Psalm 29. Psalm 29, as we know, was written by King David. We seem to have some technical issues for a second. It was written by King David, and King David wanted to show the omnipotence, the power of God. And it says within it, the voice of Adonai thunders over rushing waters. The voice of Adonai roars with might. The voice of Adonai echoes with majesty, and the voice of Adonai shatters the cedars. The voice of Adonai splits rock with lightning. The voice of Adonai stirs the wilderness. The voice of Adonai strips the forest bare. So we see of God's power within all things in earth and on heaven. And if you look closely, there are 7 of those stanzas, 7 of those sentences, the voice of Adonai, and relates in many ways to the 7 days of creation, the 6 days that God created the world, the 7th that God rested is Shabbat. We're just using this now.
Yep.
Okay.
Please rise for Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm 29. Mizmor LeDavid, Avul Adonai b'nei Eli, Avul Adonai, Kavod va'od, Avul Adonai, Kavod shemo, Avul Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hayim, El kavod iri, Adonai al mayim, hayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, ay, Kol Adonai Hadar, Kol Adonai shomer arazim, Vayshaper Adonai et artzeh halvanon, Vayar yiddehem mo'egel, Lebanon v'Siryo, Mogen meimim, Kol Adonai, Kotzev la'bodesh, ay, Kol Adonai, midbar kadesh, midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai, Kol elai alot, vayesoh ha'arot, u'ha'alot, lo omer kavod, Adonai mapul yakav, vayeshev Adonai melech le'olam, ay, Adonai od le'amo yitein, Adonai tevarech et amo v'halom, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom, Yaelai Yaelai
We are about to go to Adon Olam, Lecha Dodi, on page 21. I guess wishful thinking. It's just warm in here. It's not necessarily the warmth of God only. It's the warmth of no air conditioning as well. So I hope you are comfortable at home watching this service. Cantor and I sweat to death. So we go to Lecha Dodi, which means you may have to say El Malei Rachamim for the two of us when we get to full service.
God knows.
Humor is always good, even if we're being taped at this time. So we go to L'chad Udi. It was written by Shlomo Halevi. How do we know that? He puts his name in the prayer itself. Each new stanza starts with one letter of his name. Why is this? We know that this is a Kabbalistic prayer. It is a prayer where we enter in the Sabbath Queen. It reminds us to keep and to remember the Sabbath in one breath. Both mentions of the Decalogue throughout the Torah and putting them together. And since there are not prayer books readily available as they are today, remember the prayer is only a few hundred years old. Prayers had to be written in a way that they could be remembered. Here, L'chad Udi, the Ashrei, which we before was in the Aleph Bet, so we see that throughout the service. L'chad Udi, page 21, will welcome the Sabbath bride, and the last stanza of the L'chad Udi and face the entrance to the sanctuary, the entrance house, because that is where the Sabbath Queen is supposed to come in. Page 21.
Kabbalat Shabbat, Makor, Abracha, Rosh Miked, Mesucha, Zom Aseba Tequila, L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, Aminus Kol Kifroti, Ve'et Adonai Tariki, Ayani Ben Parti, Benis Machan Nagila, Nadudi Kala, B'nei Kabbalah, L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, peace rise, Bo'i Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gavuta, Ubetzala, Rov Emuneh, Am Segula, Bo'i Chala, Bo'i Chala, L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. One last time. L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. L'chad Udi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. You may be seated. We are having an internet problem. Hopefully all of this is getting recorded so it can get out to you.
And hopefully we'll go straight to the Morris Kaddish so we can at least add in, and we're going to skip a prayer or two in order to make sure we're able to say El Malei Rachamim. We want to remember all those yortzites that we marked this week. Although they may no longer walk this earth, they will always remain alive in our hearts, in our minds. Shabbat to mispronounce the name, please forgive me, but first of all, our condolences to Marion, Sam, Lawrence, Jonathan, Howard, and Wendy Haber, and Susan Gottby, and Robert Wynn, and their families on the loss of Dr. Julian Haber. May his memory be a blessing now and forevermore.
Amen.
We remember Max Thompson, Benjamin Kaplan, Robert Batat, Max Paris, Charlie Kaufman, Esther Lesser, Louise Da, Bessie Dunn, Marks, Raphael Hoffman, Idel Orbanowitz, Harry Maslish, Erwin Paderewski, Victor Friedman, Philip Jacobson, Morris Moshe Levine, Victor Miller, Jake Levine, Mark Vermillion, Eva Zuckerman, Rosalie Schwartz, Lorna Kaitzer Twitty, Arlene Levy Godfrey, Bob Benjamin Taylor, Michael Nolan, Roy Greenberg, Bernard Appel, Isidore Aglitz, Max Goldstein, Jenny Lieberman, Rita Meltzer, Betty Brosgel, Victorian Mizrahi, Anna Bartak, Morris Reed, Basha Gens, Holland, Benjamin Antle, David Grimes, Kohelet Herman, Herbert Lynn, Mayor Lubin, Alan Lusky, France Michelson Oken, Henry Salzberg, Henry Saad, Martin Schwartz, Joseph Shanblum, Jenny Glickman, Shiri Sienna Kaikoff, Charles Allen Klimas, Israel O. Sadon, Norman Tutson, and Joseph Walderman. Blessing now and forevermore. And Cantor will lead us in the El Malachim, and then I will lead us in the Mornis Kaddish.
El Malachamim, Shochem Ramim, Hametzem Chanechonat, Chakanfe Hakina, B'mahalot Yeroshim Odorim, Kezohar Haraki Amayirim, Lenishmot Shekol El Halchu Leolamam, Began Eden Tehem Nuchatam, Hanabal Harachamim, הסתירם בסתר כנפך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו שלום על משכבותיהם, ונאמר אמן.
Mourners Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich maltei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata adam miran b'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. We are now going to light the Shabbat candles. Two, of course, once again, like L'chadodi, one for Shamor, one for Zechor, one we remember the Sabbath, and one we keep the Sabbath.
Since the air conditioner's not on, they probably won't blow out.
I just told them to turn on the air conditioning. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are going to take a break for a moment, and we will be back. The cantor will sing some sort of song in a moment. Nigun, just so I can check if it's working.
Okay, let's sing a nigun just for fun. I always like this one. I learned it as a nigun but it also is related to, just so we can be silly, to another song you might have done in college, and we can talk about that later.